Talk about these long lines at the gas station. I've seen them myself. People panicking to fill up their tanks.
It's true. It's happening all over the place. Gas shortages, by the way, they are all over the South, not just here in North Carolina or just in the Triad. From Virginia to Florida, gas stations are all being impacted because of that. The Energy Department, get this, they've already waived some environmental and safety rules to speed up fuel deliveries. All of this panic buying began after a ransomware attack targeted Colonial Pipeline, forcing the company to temporarily shut down. The 5,500-mile pipeline supplies 40% of the East Coast fuel. Experts say panic buying, that is the last thing we should be doing.
Panic buying of gas right now will create this artificial demand that will make all of this worse.
Colonial says, by the way, it does expect to be up and running by the end of the week.
And back here in the Triad, people are rushing to the pumps, and now some of our local businesses are feeling the effects. WFMY News 2's Jalen Gilkey is live in Summerfield with more. Jalen.
As prices at the pump continue to soar and the demand for gas continues to increase, mainly due to the fact that people aren't quite sure as to what's going on. I spoke with two local Triad business owners who aren't sure how they'll be impacted. Rashid Wiley owns Wiley's Landscaping and Tree Service here in Guilford County. He says he has about 4 to 5 days worth of supply of gas for his tools, but if things continue like this, he's not sure how his business will hold up.
Tree work and the landscaping, yes. I use gas in all my chainsaws, blowers, hedge trimmers, blowers, yeah, everything.
Otis Battles owns Miss Johnny Mae's food truck. They have several out-of-town events coming up, but if gas prices keep rising, he doesn't know if those trips will be quite worth it.
One of them being in Tunica, Mississippi. A trip like that will cost us pretty much about $400 to $500 in gas on a regular. So with the gas shortage and the prices going up, it's almost, now you're talking about $800.
Otis went on to tell me that they use a pickup truck to tow their actual food truck to all locations, and they usually have to stop for gas several times per trip. So his biggest fear isn't even the prices of gas going up, but the fear of getting to somewhere to fill up and gas not being available.
Thanks so much, Jalen. Well, North Carolina's price gouging law is now in effect because of the temporary shutdown of the Colonial Pipeline. Under this law, businesses cannot unreasonably raise the price of goods or services to profit from a state of emergency. If you think a business is price gouging, you can file a report one of two ways. Either call 1-877-5-NO-SCAM, and that number is right there on your screen for you to take down, or you can visit ncdoj.gov. There you can click on the File a Consumer Complaint followed by Price Gouging Complaint.
Let's get into your 4 to 5 roundup with some of your headlines. Now, this isn't the first time the region has had issues with gas supply. The Carolinas have dealt with gas shortages before, and AAA says a lot of it has to do with geography. Both states and year-round vacation destinations, and are also cut through states for other travel destinations, meaning plenty of people stop here for gas already. And this isn't the first gas shortage. As we said, in the 1970s, folks across the country faced unprecedented gas shortages because of the oil crisis. And just a few years ago, Colonial Pipeline shut down after it spilled more than 350,000 gallons of gas, causing issues for the entire East Coast. And we have another shortage. This time it's at Chick-fil-A. The company is limiting the number of free sauces a customer can get due to a supply chain shortage. Many of the fast food chain's locations across the country are currently only giving one dipping sauce per entree order. The company says that shortage does not impact their chicken supply, despite a recent chicken wing shortage. Chick-fil-A says it's working hard to solve this issue. And the Guilford County School Board approved its budget for next year during a meeting last night. It includes raises for GCS staff and teachers. But before it's official, the budget will have to get past county commissioners. Dozens of teachers and GCS staff stood outside the administration building yesterday ahead of the meeting. They called for the board to approve the superintendent's proposed budget, which includes a minimum wage of $15 an hour for all GCS staff and 5% pay bumps for all teachers. And are you ready for football season? Because CBS just announced week 1 of the NFL games is set to air on its network. The Panthers are set to host the Jets at Bank of America Stadium in the NFL Week 1 season opener on September 12th, meaning new Panthers quarterback Sam Darnold will be facing off against his former team right away. And you can catch all the action at 1 p.m. right here on WFMY News 2.
Well, that was a harsh reality. This gas shortage thing now impacting Chick-fil-A sauce. It's getting personal now. Okay, switching gears. Let's talk about the weather. I don't have an umbrella now, so that is, of course, good news to you. It's still a chilly, raw day of weather, especially for the month of May. I don't know who invited February to fill in for a day, but I'd like to have my May back. I don't know about you. As far as rain totals go, been a wetter day down to our south, which was expected about 1/4 of an inch in Asheboro and our southern counties, generally around 1/10 of an inch and even much less than that as you go further to the north. So all of us got at least some rain today, but a little less here in the Triad, a little more down to the south. Now looking at the radar, you see that big batch of rain that was here earlier now pushing away from us, and things are starting to taper off and dry out, and will continue to do so as we go throughout the rest of the evening. This is a big old batch of rain with this disturbance. Still several pockets of heavy rain down to our south in South Carolina and in Georgia. Temperature wise, I just mentioned it, it's a cold day for May. Our average high, by the way, is 77. And in fact, it's colder here than it is in Anchorage, Alaska right now. It's 50 there. It's 49 in Greensboro, 50 in Winston-Salem, 51 High Point, 48 at Asheboro, and 50 over in Lexington as well. And tonight, we're going to be heading for a cold night of weather. You might actually have to turn the heat back on. We'll be right around 40 degrees in Greensboro, but I would expect some of those low-lying spots in rural areas to drop down into the upper 30s. So it again is a cold night of weather, especially for May. Mid and upper 30s back to the west in the foothill and mountain communities as well. Now going into your Thursday, we're going to change gears a little bit. We have a much nicer day of weather. We'll bring back the sunshine, mix it in with a few clouds, but it'll still be a cool day of weather for May. We'll be running about 10 degrees below our average high right now. I think we'll stick it out right around 66 or 67 degrees. Late tomorrow evening, the clouds will start to thicken back up as another disturbance heads our way, and there could be a stray shower late tomorrow evening. I think most of that would actually be back in the west and along the foothill and mountain communities as well. We're going to have a low chance for a shower tomorrow evening and again on Friday, but we've got good news coming up as we go into the weekend, and we'll warm things up too as we go into Saturday and Sunday. I'll have your full forecast coming up in a couple minutes. Your 4 to 5. We'll be right back.
My goodness, this is my story. It's story time with Batty. Y'all, today. I should have done my 2 cents about panic buying.
Matt, ask
So
Brad.
here it is.
Ask Brad what he had me believing today.
Don't do it. Don't panic buy.
Maddie's correct.
Please. I get the urge. I completely understand the mindset behind it. But it is going to make things worse.
You're absolutely right in that it really, it's going to resolve itself by the end of this week. So, and Gas Buddy, so I checked Gas Buddy today, and they do, they can show you pumps that have availability, which helps tremendously. So I was able to get gas, but.
Yeah. If you need gas, you should get gas.
But
if
Brad,
you
the
don't
BP
need it
on
right
Elm,
now,
actually.
just hang out. The pipeline is up and running, by the way. I feel like people keep thinking it's shut down. It is running. It's running manually. So the gas is flowing. It's just everyone's buying it up, so the trucks are having a harder time keeping the pumps filled.
Well, they told me to be at. Am I wrong?
Let me ask.
Am I wrong?
I got some.
I'm at A, I think.
I'm probably in the wrong.
I'm just going to continue to go on my
Sorry.
buying rant.
By the way, all of you on
Where
Facebook.
am I going to be?
Just to let you know, you hear some of us asking questions of our producer. That's why you don't hear anybody.
Lauren, it's okay. We forgive you. All right. In other news, we're talking about Greek pastries next. I got the food story today, but I didn't get any food. Welcome back to your 4 to 5. It is one of the Triad's favorite festivals. The Winston-Salem Greek Festival is back after missing last year's event, but it will be a bit different. Amy Bridges explains.
So like with everything, lots of changes for everybody, and we have tried to make it work where we can still provide an experience for the community without it being the full experience that everybody has been used to. So super COVID friendly event, 4 days, and basically it's a drive-through event. So there is no getting out of the car. You pull up, there's a menu, you make your order, and we then get your order to your car.
So starting tomorrow and through Sunday, you can drive through the Annunciation Greek Orthodox Church parking lot and pick up some of your favorite traditional Greek meals and pastries. The church canceled their event last May and held a one-day Greek Fest Express in November, but they're excited to welcome people back all 4 days this May.
There's so many things that people want to see, and you know, it definitely is not the same as far as the experience is concerned, but you know, we were so grateful back in November for the community support, and we had it was great. So many people came out. People came multiple times in the day, and now they have time to come multiple times all weekend.
Yeah, you can go every day, multiple times a day. Bridges says the festival is a Triad favorite event because it's an opportunity to embrace the Greek culture, traditions, and the community. And by the way, the ladies at the church, they hand make all of the pastries, and in my opinion, they are to die for. You should also know that everyone is following COVID safety guidelines. If you're planning a trip, I already have all the information up for you on our website. Can we hang on the baklava? Because yum. That looks delicious. It is one of my favorite pastries of all time, especially at this particular festival.
I absolutely love Greek food. Spanakopita, it's all so good.
I was trying to read that pastry menu, but it flashed on the screen too fast. Can we go back to that?
I looked it up online. It's pretty detailed.
I'm hungry now.
Got some good stuff.
Now, I will say, if you are going, they have a limited menu this year because of COVID. They just wanted to make everything very fast since it's a drive-through event. But the menu is still great, and it looks delicious. And like I said, it's on our website for you.
Yeah, I went on their Facebook page, and they had this picture that said the endless road of like baklava, and it was like 40
I
cans.
am there.
So I know they've been working hard to get ready for this, and I might be one of those people that goes back in the drive-through line.
Yeah,
for
what do
another
you
plate.
think the rent is for a house on the road of baklava? Like, can I live
Very
right
expensive.
there?
It's got
in
to
the
be
cul-de-sac?
Is that like the same thing as the yellow brick road?
No, it's
even better.
Even better.
Even better.
Yeah.
We can actually eat this road.
But I will say, when I was talking to Amy today, you know, the Greek Festival in Winston-Salem is one of my all-time favorite events. And the last time I went, I just enjoyed the demonstrations so much in addition to the food. So they're hoping to bring all of that back, all the things that we love about it, next year. But this has been around for more than 6 decades.
Yes, and it is truly, I would almost say, a regional favorite because it's not just Winston. I mean, people drive for this event. So it's not just the food. You're right. It's kind of the atmosphere, the whole. When they do the dances back in the day, that's my favorite. I don't know, can they do that now, or will that not be allowed with
It's
social
food
distance?
only this year.
Okay,
But next year.
You can go back and look at our past stories if you'd
Absolutely.
like to.
Yeah, I was going to say that's great. You know, it's not just the food. It really ties in the whole culture and ties in everything. You learn a lot.
The language, the dancing, the music.
Yeah.
And the food.
I'm glad they're just still able to put it on this year.
Absolutely. Now I'm hungry. We're coming right back. I'll go to the break.
Let's go get some
See you in a minute.
baklava,
We're going
guys.
to practice
I
our
am
dancing
on the way now.
during the
Yes,
break.
let's do that too.
Or at least I am. Lauren and I.
Wait, what about that?
Dun, 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 dun. I do love baklava. When I was in college, there was a place on Franklin Street called Mediterranean Deli.
Ooh.
And they had all different kinds of baklava, like pistachio, walnut.
That sounds amazing.
Oh my
So,
gosh,
and it's
that
so
sounds
good.
great.
And this is the Greek Festival in Winston-Salem, just as good, if not better.
I'd
It's
love to try
so
that.
good.
I've only had like regular, but
Yeah,
that's
dates.
What's the
Philo?
Is that what's the grape leaf wrap thing?
Oh, grape leaves?
Is that
I've
right?
had that before.
It's stuffed with rice?
It's stuffed with like,
Oh, sorry.
It's right in front of it.
Wait, I'm coming
is it
back.
stuffed with like beans?
right in front of it.
Not beans, but like,
Yeah, it
I know what
is.
you're talking
Yeah,
about.
and I don't
I've
know
tried
what
it
they call it. I
before.
can't remember what they call it. Somebody needs to tell us on Facebook. Let me see. Somebody will know.
Let's
You know what I'm talking about, Christian? Those little-
Yeah,
Now
but
I'm
I have
getting
no
involved.
idea.
I know, now I'm trying to think what it's stuffed with
But I
because
know
I've
what
had it before.
45 seconds. I'll miss you guys. I'll miss you guys.
Oh, Lynn Marie says the Mediterranean Deli is still there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. There's one in Elon now, too. They opened up a second
Oh, wow.
location.
Really?
And it's
Wait, where are we
my
standing?
favorite. I love Mediterranean food.
Oh, scoot over, Lauren. You're at A.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk about Mediterranean food, baklava, and
Great
price
leads.
gouging.
And now we're all hungry.
Panic buying.
It's what we do.
I'm here for it all.
It's called ADHD. Welcome to the club. You know, just because something is broken doesn't mean it can't work. Perfect example, broken crayons. You can still draw with them.
That's absolutely right. And today on U Day, Coach Lamont shares a story that will change your perspective on how we look at everyday obstacles.
A grandfather spending quality time with his granddaughter noticed a sour look on her face. Concerned, he inquired what was wrong. The little girl went on to explain that while coloring, her crayons began to break. She was distraught because she wanted to color a special picture for her grandfather. The grandfather gathered all the pieces, picked up a broken crayon, and told his granddaughter that though broken, the crayons will still color. Though the crayons were broken, it didn't mean they couldn't fulfill their purpose of bringing color to the world. This story has always moved me. It's a special reminder that though many of us have experienced brokenness at some time in our lives, our original purpose is still intact. Broken crayons, still color. This is Coach Lamont reminding you to have your best U Day. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, weather-wise, I want to know who invited February to fill in for a day for May. I don't like it. I don't think we approved of that. Take a look, time lapse over the Triad today. You can see those clouds from time to time, some of those raindrops showing up on our weather cameras. It has been a cold and damp day of weather. Now, as far as the rain totals go, we were talking about this yesterday about our folks to the south having a better chance to get rain than our folks to the north. Generally to our south, places like Asheboro, down over to Salisbury have seen generally 1/4 of an inch of rain. For us here in the Triad, closer to about 1/10 of an inch, and then hardly anything at all to the north as you go up into Rockingham County and over the border into Virginia. Now, taking a look at the radar right now, over the past couple hours, that rain has started to taper off and will eventually come to an end as we go throughout the rest of your Wednesday evening. You see this big batch of rain with that disturbance pushing east, and things are also starting to dry out down in South Carolina and Georgia as well. Taking a look here at our visible satellite image, you can see back to the west, not far away, the clouds are starting to clear. Slowly but surely, we'll get in on some of those clearer skies as we go into your Thursday. Here's what's going on. Stationary front, this was event earlier, the cold front that brought us to showers and storms on Monday and on Tuesday. That stalled out down to our south. Now we have these little waves of low pressure that are tracking along that front, and those keep regenerating a chance for us to get some rain, but they stay down to our south, and that's why the better chance for that rain stays to our south. As we go into your Thursday, high pressure from the north starts to build in. That will not only push in cooler air, but will also help to bring the sunshine back as we go into your Thursday, and that high pressure will stay in control of our weather as we go into Friday and on into the weekend. Here's how Futurecast plays this out. We clear out things overnight. Again, just a very low shower chance as we go into your Thursday evening. Most of that would mainly be back to the west in the foothills and into the mountains. And remember, I mentioned it's a cold day of weather. It's actually warmer in Anchorage, Alaska right now than it is in Greensboro. It's 49 degrees in Greensboro. It's 50 degrees in Anchorage, Alaska. So yeah, we would like to have some of their warmth in Alaska. Tonight will be a cold night of weather. We'll drop down to around 40 degrees, and some of those low-lying spots that tend to get a little bit cooler than everybody else could easily make it down into the upper 30s. Going into your Thursday, we bring the sunshine back, mix it in with a few clouds. It's still a cool day of weather with temperatures topping out in the mid and upper 60s. We'll build in some of those clouds late, but just a very low rain chance for your Thursday and Friday. Things look dry for the most part over the weekend. We'll be back in the mid 70s on Saturday and Sunday, and that's your forecast. Your 4 to 5 is coming right back after this.
Funny. That was funny.
I don't know.
Okay. Got to talk about Sanctuary House. Great place.
We're having a dance party
Yeah, we did.
by the weather station
Place. Universe.
I'm gonna have to scream to get y'all to hear me over here.
Hey.
Oh.
All right.
Did y'all hear that?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
Dun dun dun.
Is this? Oh no, that's okay. I was just looking.
Oh, that's me. Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, who is scrolling through? What's the
My computer is double.
the chat on Facebook right now? Let me see.
People are chatting.
What comes out of?
People are chatting.
Let me log into Facebook. Say hello.
Is that
to
Jay with another
everybody.
joke?
Yes.
What's going on, Jay?
Wants to know what comes out of bacon in the Mediterranean, and then he said, Greece.
Jay always coming in.
Those are
Jay,
so creative.
Are you Googling
Yeah,
these? Be honest.
'cause I'm like, these are.
Listen, there's no, like, they're still good. We don't fault you. I just want to know if these are original, because if they are, you need to stand up.
They cannot
He's
be
got
original.
an app on his phone.
Because
They're too good.
they're relevant to every
Lynn.
topic we talk
And
about.
he told me the other day that he times his posts so they come up during the commercial break so we can read them.
I can't with that. Lynn wants to know if Christian chats. Christian, you better get to chatting.
I do, but half the time Brad doesn't turn my
That's her
microphone on.
director.
Oh, our director
I hope his mom
extraordinaire.
heard that. I hope his mom heard that too, and we'll get on to
The
him.
grape leaves are stuffed with rice and.
So the past 14 months really taken a mental toll on people, but a Triad organization, they're always working actually to help change that. Sanctuary House is a beacon of light for a lot of people in the Piedmont. I spoke with Executive Director Jody Lorenzo about what they do as well as this big celebration they have coming up. Take a look. So Jody, let's talk about the Sanctuary House. For those that aren't familiar, talk about the work you guys do.
Well, Sanctuary House has been in the community for 19 years, and our primary focus is working with individuals with severe and persistent mental illness, such as schizophrenia, bipolar, major depression. Our main focus is really helping to work to rehabilitate individuals and offer quality of life that is beyond a diagnosis.
So you and I had talked before about how the pandemic really did a number on people, and even people with minor, like lower anxiety, experienced higher anxiety. How does that happen, and what's going on with that right now?
Well, I think one of the interesting things with mental health, oftentimes how you manage and work with symptoms of mental health is not isolation. And one of the things with COVID for public health pandemic that we had is isolation was essential in order to keep people safe. You know, a lot of individuals may be experiencing a heightened level of fear, anxiety, sadness, experienced something very large and traumatic for a lot of individuals. This is normal. The biggest message that we want to send out is it's okay to talk about it. People are all experiencing the same thing, similar.
So Jody, let's switch gears now. You have a big event coming up. It's really a celebration for you guys. Talk about what this will be.
We made the decision to have a hybrid event that will be both virtual as well as live. The event will be celebrating mental health awareness and wellness. We're going to have live music, we're going to be outside, we're going to have food, and we're just going to have a good time, celebrate mental health, and celebrate being a community again.
This is great. It sounds like you guys deserve the celebration. You've been doing hard work for the last 19 years, that's for sure. Jody, thanks for spending time with us. So they're a wonderful organization. I actually have the honor of emceeing that event. So that is the 22nd. We've got all the information in the story on WFNYnews2.com. You should come out. But for that event, it really is more about a celebration of what they do than anything else. And for mental health in the Triad, they are huge, and a lot of support for Sanctuary House over the years, and they help really they help people that have challenges to really assimilate back in and get a job and keep it going, and personal relationships. I mean, they deal with all that with those folks, and it's a great place.
I like that idea of celebrating mental health because so often it's a taboo subject, but everybody has feelings, everyone has emotions, and everyone deals with things differently, and we should address those issues and not normalize it. So it is a celebration, looking at it in a positive light rather than it being such a negative thing.
And real quick, everybody has anxiety.
Yeah.
To some level.
To some level.
And
Right.
I will say,
I deal
I'm
with
very
it too.
proud of us because over the past year, I think that we've talked about mental health more than we ever have. And I think the pandemic kind of forced us to breach the topic. And I think that's such a good thing because the more we talk about it, the more normal it does become. And people don't feel ashamed about going to get help, just like physical help. If you broke a bone, you wouldn't be ashamed to go to the emergency room. So I'm so glad that we are having this discussion. I'm so glad that Sanctuary House does what they do.
Yeah. You need your mental and your physical to be
It's
your
true.
perfect you. I 100% agree with that.
And I always say there's used to be, I'll say used to be, I know there's still a little bit, but there's such taboo to say, oh, I'm seeing a therapist. No, I actually think everybody should talk to a therapist just to kind of check in, you know, and kind of see how things are going. And we all have stuff that
We
needs
all
to be
need
fixed.
to vent, need someone to talk to, have a clear
An
head.
unbiased third party.
That's exactly, I always say a disinterested third party is a wonderful thing.
Yes.
All right, we're going to take a break. We have 30 more minutes straight ahead. Stay there.
Come on Facebook, chat with us.
Right now.
Is that me? Okay, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination? Yeah, right.
This afternoon, the Colonial Pipeline says they've regained manual control of their line. Don't get too excited, though.
I'll say 40 to 45. That's you. That is me. Hello.
Hello.
Book of Face.
Book of Face.
Christian laughed at me.
The Book of Faces. Wasn't it in Game of Thrones, wasn't there like the Hall of Faces?
You know, I did not watch enough.
The Hall of Faces.
Y'all don't remember that?
Christian just said there's a Hall of Presidents at Disney World.
There
That's not what we're
is.
talking about, Morgan.
Oh, sorry.
No, we're not talking about Disney World. It's kind of
That
the
was funny,
opposite.
though.
Well,
I guess I should go.
Again, you remember yesterday I thought it was Wednesday. Today I think
Later.
it's Thursday. That is incorrect.
My
Tis
days are
only
all off
Wednesday.
this week.
Mine are too. I don't know why.
Why is it that this week I have felt like every day was a different day? So yesterday I felt like it was Thursday or Friday, and today I feel like it's Monday or Tuesday.
We have wishful thinking for a
I'm
certain
all off.
day.
And what are we doing here? Maddie, get it together.
It's the hello.
Get it together, Maddie. Get it
Hello,
together.
peoples.
I'm at EL.
Who, me?
Who's that one?
What is
You're
the
on A.
loneliest number that you'll ever You know you love me, Matt. You know you love it. Never know.
Well, good afternoon and welcome back to your 4 to 5. I'm Lauren Coleman. I'm here with Eric, Maddie, and Christian. Thanks for sticking with us for this second half hour of 4 to 5.
Yes, did you know that we are live on Facebook the entire time and in the commercial breaks? I have to tell you, it is the most fun part of the show, if I'm being honest. So we would love for you to join in on that fun. Everyone is invited.
And it truly is fun because we pretty much act silly.
That's all. I make terrible jokes.
Terrible jokes. You're right, Christian. All right, but we do some news. I think it's time we should do that, actually. A lot to talk about today. Let's get to it. All across the area, there is the topic that everybody is talking about. And of course, we're talking about trying to find gas. Colonial Pipeline still dealing with the cyber attack that shut down the pipeline that carries between 40 and 45% of the gas used on the East Coast. But tonight, WFMY News 2's Ben Briscoe finally has some good news. Ben?
Today, Colonial Pipeline says they have regained control of manually using their pipeline. But don't get too excited yet. One of my oil and gas experts says that's like if you take one of those cars filling up at the pump down there, rip the engine out, and turn it into a Flintstones car. It will get you there, but really slowly. So Colonial Pipeline says it has crews working 24/7 now to get things up and running again. And their PR people believe they'll have full access to the pipeline by the end of this week. The Department of Transportation's leader says the federal government is going to step in until then to help fix any shortages that might happen.
There is a lot that is involved in getting a pipeline up and running again. And so there's the announcement, then there's the actual process, and then some time for that to be fully up and running, which is one of the reasons why we're not wasting any time and haven't been since even over the weekend in taking the steps that we need to mitigate any shortages, even things that could happen while the pipeline is getting fully online, but before that's completely taking place.
So what are those solutions? We're going to dig into them coming up at 5:45.
If you are having trouble finding gas around the Triad, one easy tool that we can all use is Gas Buddy. So all you need to do is go to WFMYnews2.com and search for this story. It's called Go to These Greensboro Gas Stations if you need to fill up. So once you get to that story, scroll on down and click on the link that says check out their website by clicking here. It's then going to take you to Gas Buddy's site. It's going to show you the cheapest gas stations nearby. But when you look closer at a gas station, you'll see 3 different icons. You can see them right here on your screen. They're going to tell you if the station is without fuel, power, or even diesel fuel. That way you know before you go to the actual gas station.
All right, so you've seen the lines, right? You've seen the people waiting for gas. You've seen the pumps bag signaling the station is out of gas. But have you seen this, my friends? Let me step out of the way so you can see it. Yes, it is a picture of a gas station here in North Carolina with unleaded gas for $9.99 and diesel for $8.88.
All right, so this is a Twitter picture.
It
so
is.
I'm sure a lot of people said, who's paying that much for gas? Because that was my first thought.
Right? And all these alarms start going off in my head like there's probably more than what we see in this picture.
Oh, you are so very right. Okay, I called the gas station, which was in Cornelius, and confirmed the station, Cashin's Gas, is not selling gas for that price. That price is literally assigned to customers that the gas station is, in fact, out of gas. All right, with all the gas issues going around, you might think to yourself, why in the world did they put up those numbers, right? Because people might think it's real. It's kind of an industry standard, though. The thinking is no one would ever believe that gas is really $9.99 a gallon, and customers would know that something is wrong and that gas couldn't be pumped. But in this day and age, really, you kind of almost think, maybe that could have been right. All right, so if you see gas stations with signs like that, $9.99, $8.88, don't even let your mind go there. Just know it means you can't stop there for gas. Okay, one of the most common comments we've heard during all of this is the price I'm paying at the pump. Is it price gouging? For example, a viewer emailed me saying this: how did gas go from $2.66 to $3 in less than 72 hours? Monday I paid $2.66, Tuesday it was $2.89, now it's $3. You might automatically think, okay, this has to be price gouging. Maybe, but I gotta tell you, maybe not. North Carolina Attorney General Josh Stein will be in at 5:30 to talk about price gouging, how an investigation takes place, how many complaints they've had already, and he's going to take your questions. So you can text your questions to 336-379-5775.
All right, let's get into your headlines with your 4 to 5 roundup. House Republicans removed Congresswoman Liz Cheney from her leadership position. She was ousted as conference chair in a voice vote by GOP leadership. The Wyoming Congresswoman has been a harsh critic of former President Donald Trump. Ahead of the vote, she took to the floor Tuesday night to warn that the former president is threatening democracy with his election fraud lies. Cheney survived a previous attempt to oust her from a role back in February after she voted to impeach Donald Trump. And President Biden held his first face-to-face meeting with leaders of Congress today. The group met to see if they can find common ground on his legislative agenda. The president has proposed a $2.3 trillion infrastructure plan, which he says will create jobs, as well as another $2 trillion bill focused on free education and money for child care. Tomorrow, the president will meet with key Republican senators leading the negotiations on infrastructure. And the International Federation of the Red Cross warns the coronavirus cases are exploding in Asia. With more than 5.9 million new confirmed cases, the organization says the surge is pushing hospitals and health systems to the brink of collapse. Reports show 7 out of 10 countries doubling their infection numbers. The fastest are in Asia and the Pacific. The Red Cross says vaccination campaigns in Asia are hampered by shortages, hesitancy, and the costly logistics of reaching many areas.
So back here in the Triad, we're actually seeing huge improvements in some of our coronavirus numbers. So the graph you see here represents the percentage of tests that are coming back positive in Guilford County. The past few days, we have seen incredibly encouraging numbers. Now, the latest number is 2.8%. That is excellent. And the last 4 days have been below 4%. Now, remember, the governor's goal was 5% statewide. That's the red line. And you can see the number was fluctuating quite a bit in March and April, but it's been really stable over the last 2 weeks. Good news.
All right, weather-wise across the Triad, did you have to break out your winter coat today? It does not feel like a day in May at all. And I'm not particularly proud about this fact, but I've mentioned it over the last several minutes a couple times. We are actually colder in Greensboro right now than it is in Anchorage, Alaska. It's 49 here. It feels like 45. It's 50 in Anchorage, Alaska, and they also have sunshine. I know. Extra salt in the wound. Sorry about that. We're all in the upper 40s to around 50 degrees right now. We're headed for a cold night of weather. Some folks may drop down into the upper 30s. Of course, we still are hanging on to those clouds pretty tough here in the Triad, and it'll take a while for those to clear out as we go throughout the rest of the evening. That rain, though, is starting to taper off and break up, coming to an end, and really, not even doing anything right now here in Greensboro out in our weather garden at News 2. You can see the big batch of that moisture that rolled through earlier now starting to push east offshore, and we're going to head for a much drier day of weather going into your Thursday. But again, notice how it's clear back to the west just over the mountains in Tennessee. It's going to take a while for these thick clouds to clear out as we go through the evening, but eventually so they will do that. Dry conditions overnight, clearing skies going into your Thursday. Now, I do think tomorrow there's just a very low chance of getting a stray shower somewhere across the area. That would mainly be back in the west and in the foothill and mountain communities as well. Tonight, cold night of weather. Most of us will drop down into low 40s, but some of those low-lying spots, rural areas that tend to get a little bit colder than everybody else, may see the 30s before the night is over. Going into your Tuesday, a much drier, calmer day of weather. We'll have a mix of sun and clouds, temperatures in the mid and upper 60s, right around 68 for your Thursday afternoon. That's your forecast, your 4 to 5. It's coming right back.
Mike, it is chilly outside, and I keep forgetting that it's chilly outside and going out there without my jacket because I don't listen.
Did you even bring a jacket today?
I don't like to carry jackets around, so
either.
I'll suffer just to not have something to keep up with.
But I'm the type of person who has her seat heaters on and the heat on in the car always.
You do? Is that what you said? You keep the heat on?
But after a workout or a run or something, when you're sore or tense, that heated seat
Oh, let me tell you, my calves are on fire today, and these hills are not helping.
Do you keep the windows down in the summer?
Not when I'm not in the car.
I like to blast that AC.
Me too.
But I can't do that this week with the gas stuff going on.
I want the controlled environment.
I like the windows down, but I can't
Sometimes I
stand
roll down the
right
window and I have the AC blasting because I don't have enough patience to let the AC fill the car. Do y'all do that too?
My grandpa used to get so mad. He's like, if you're going to have the air on, roll up the window.
At the top of my head, I don't know what it looks like, Brad. Brad.
This camera's making me dizzy, bro.
You know what I concentrate on? The front part of my hair. Nothing else. Nothing else.
Not the back.
could look crazy. The top probably looks crazy, but you are gonna make me sick if you keep zooming in like that. Ooh. I get sick in a lot of movement in the camera.
Get me off the rock and roller coaster.
That's right. Like sports movies.
To answer your question, Lauren, yes, I will roll the windows down to air out the hot air at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then yeah.
My parents used to get so mad when I would do that.
My kids want to play with the windows, roll them up, roll them down, roll them up, roll them, and I'm like, stop it. And
Child lock.
Remember
I do. I put the child lock on.
The ones that were like
the crank.
Yeah. That's why you say roll the window down.
That's right.
Instead of
and I even do that still when I'm telling someone to roll the window down. I even do that gesture. Which
Gloria, I see you.
Really
Gloria,
bad.
I see you. Wanda, what do you need my help for? Listen.
What'd she say?
She said.
You may remember we did a story last December. We featured a group of Kernersville elementary schools and their choirs. They all got together virtually to do a big performance. It was the brainchild of music teacher Adam Mitchell, and they're at it again. But this time they have even more people involved, nearly 160 of them. Here's part of my chat with Adam. Take a look.
What is brighter than a summer day, shines a light on the darkest night.
Adam, very cool idea. We talked with you last December about this, and now you're doing it again. So tell me what's changed in this. Apparently it's growing.
We had so much fun premiering something that was new and fresh with We Rise. I wanted to write another one. So I wrote the piece, and as I was writing and kind of arranging, it's once again kind of called for some more mature voices to join. So I reached out to the choral director at Glenn High School to join us on this project, and again reached out to some of the students that were former students of mine that are now in middle school and beyond to join us on the project. After wanting to keep it small, it ended up having 155 singers from the 4 sponsoring schools, and then 4 or 5 additional schools. And then we had some parents and staff that heard of our last project that were really excited about a new one and asked to jump in the new project. So from that, wanting to keep it small, we are almost as large as our first project, actually.
Hope shines the way to light up the day when the whole world is stormy and gray.
So where do you want this to go? Obviously, you're probably going to do this again. What's the end result here?
So for this particular project, Hope Shine, I really, obviously we made up a word. Hope Shine is not a real word. But the beauty of creating a word is that you can also create its definition. So we want that idea of hope shine, that infectious optimism in the face of adversity, to spread to the viewers and anybody who watches it, to see my students and the other singers' interpretation of that idea come through in their singing, in their faces, in their voices.
It's a great idea. Plus, I just love to hear all the voices together. And you even got the superintendent of Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools involved. Good for you. Adam, thank you very much for this. So this video, by the way, will be released on Friday. I've got information for you, this story in case you want to see it. It's on WFMYnews2.com. So I asked you on Facebook, what if you were producing a music video? What song would you use that sums up the world these days? Oh boy, did you have a lot to say. Dawn said, Crazy Train, and then she quoted the lyrics, crazy, but that's how it goes. Millions of people living as foes. Maybe it's not too late to learn how to love and forget how to hate. Deb Woody said, here we go around the mulberry bush. Ben Gilbert said, The Temptations' Ball of Confusion. Bobby Odom said, Living on the Edge by Aerosmith. And Jane said, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. Jenna said, I love this answer, Man in the Mirror by Michael Jackson. So you take a look at yourself in the mirror before you start pointing fingers. Interesting, and there were a lot more comments that we don't have time for, and everybody had a joke.
And this day, in this week, with everything going on, mine has got to be You Need to Calm Down by Taylor Swift. You need to calm down.
You need to calm down.
Yeah, mine would be I Smile by Kirk Franklin, because no matter what's going on in the world, got to smile, got to trust that he's working it out.
I kind of took it the other direction and was going to say All You Need Is Love by the Beatles.
True. Very good. Do you sing that one, Christian, with your band?
I can during the commercial break.
Can we get a snippet now?
He won't do it.
I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
It's okay, Christian.
It is, but it was funny because a lot of people, it's, you know, it's just how human nature. There are some people that were just slamming the world now. You know, there's the hardest songs they could come up with. One of them said an AC/DC song title that I won't say right now.
I know which one.
You know which one I'm talking about. It's a highway.
Yep.
And then some other people were all the hopeful, and so I'm glad there was a balance because I was a little worried when I posted that. How is this going to go? Man in the Mirror is a good one though.
That is a really good one. It's interesting how there's always a song for every situation.
Oh yeah,
It's
absolutely.
true.
Always.
And just to go back to Eric's story, I mean, these kids are extremely talented, and I am amazed by the way that all of that is edited together because that is not easy. So great job by those folks in Kernersville.
Yeah, by the way, he did, and Adam did that himself, by the way. And he said he had to take music recorded from everybody, separate, and then the videos from 155 people.
Gosh.
And edit that. He said it was hundreds of hours of editing, which all of us in this business know he had to spend
And
days
they
on this.
harmonized perfectly.
Yes, and getting it all to match up, that is not easy.
Wow, that is
awesome.
an art in itself.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Video releases, or should I say drops?
Video drop.
It'll be dropping on Friday.
Drops on Friday. Yeah, check out WFNYnews2.com. We got information there for you. We're coming back.
All you need is love.
There you go.
I hear Christian. I hear you.
Love is all you need.
What is that?
Lauren is making me laugh. All right, let's see here. Okay. I am at 1. I am at 1 with the world.
And number 1. Y'all,
I
I'm
haven't
lost
heard that
on
song
this
in a
Facebook
while.
feed. Somebody needs to fill me in. I don't know what's going on.
With what?
This Facebook feed, they're just like their own little family. And they're talking about something, and I don't know what it is. I feel so left out.
I almost wonder if they have our Facebook family. We should call it that, the 4 to 5 family. They, I'm surprised they don't have their own little Facebook group somewhere else.
It's our group.
Because they talk so much. They just go off on their own.
Yes, Matt, yes.
What did he say? Oh yeah, we need to find out what's going on.
I'm trying to tell y'all.
Love was in the air in the room.
Children, are you drinking a Mountain Dew?
Wanda wants you to sing, Christian. You have 20 seconds. Give us a taste.
Give me a song.
All you need is love.
I just sang that.
What's your favorite?
We want to hear it again.
What's your favorite
You're
song to
wasting
sing with
time.
your band? By the way, everybody needs to check out his
Bantam
band.
Rooster.
Bantam Rooster. Yes.
Thank you. What is my favorite? Actually, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting is one of my favorite songs to sing by Elton John.
Which one?
Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting.
Oh, that is so much fun. It's not easy to sing, my friend. Good job.
All right, got.
Are you gonna sing or?
Oh, I didn't know if I was allowed to sing that song or not.
Just, I think you could do 10 seconds.
10 seconds. I'll tell you when
I
to
think
stop.
it's 30, but 10 to be safe.
Okay.
Can he talk it?
That's not the
Can I talk it?
All right. I'll spoken word.
Saturday night is all right for
fighting.
Like, does that
Saturday
count?
night's all
Is
right.
all right.
All right.
Saturday.
All right.
Saturday.
Ooh.
Saturday. Saturday.
Did you hear what Matt said?
Matt,
We are being.
I'm coming after you after the show is over.
Matt, you're cracking me up.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. You know, many of us have faced struggles during this pandemic in one way or another. For a North Carolina football player, his future in the sport wasn't working out.
He started working at Lowe's, then he got the call to play. But WFNY News 2's Amanda Ferguson tells us he still has some time to wait to get started.
I almost gave up.
Feelings former North Carolina A&T D lineman Justin Cates was experiencing this time last year when he couldn't show scouts his talent, his football career slipping away. Patience leading Cates to the CFL. The Edmonton Football Club sending him this text message back in January.
Everybody's excited. I'm excited. My family's excited.
In the past few months, Cates has been preparing for his rookie season, training in Goldsboro.
I usually get up every day like 6:37, work out around like 7:38.
Cates says the organization continues to make him feel wanted.
Yeah, it had me feeling good. Yeah, they text me first, then they called me because they said they wanted to hear my voice. But yeah, they're really excited. I talked to the general manager maybe like twice a month.
But he'll have to be a little more patient. Cates was supposed to report for camp last week, but the CFL has pushed the season back until August.
I deep down, like, I know I'm playing football, but like, I don't know, it still don't feel real yet. Maybe when that first game comes, I'll feel it, like, you know, for the first time. But right now, I don't really feel it yet. But I'm loving it though. I'm loving it.
Oh, that's cool.
That is pretty amazing. I mean, to think that your chances of playing again are over, and then to get that text message, great stuff. We wish him the best of luck. We hope that season starts up soon.
Yeah, I'm sure we've all had a time in our life where we thought things weren't going to work out, but if you stay to it, they can. I think this is also inspiration for a lot of high schoolers as well who felt like they missed out on their senior year as far as getting scouts to look at them for college too.
I just can't imagine what that feels like to get that call, you know, especially like, because I think a lot of people dream, that's a dream that most people never see when you get a professional sport, to be able to do that and get paid for it. And I can't imagine the excitement that you feel when that phone call comes in.
Oh, it's got to be amazing. You know, we actually have so many folks from the Triad, from A&T, and from any, you know, really all around the universities all around who have really gone on to do some big major things, whether it's, you know, whether it may be in music or whether it's in sports. We have so many local connections in the big outside world here.
I was trying to take notes of the workouts he was doing in the gym. Some of them sit-ups, had his leg up in the air.
Did a little bit of that this morning.
Oh, look at you. Sit-ups.
Got it in early.
I was lazy.
I mean, if it gets you in shape to play football in the CFL, it surely can get, you know, you in shape for standing up and reading news.
The first time
we got to stand a long time.
The first time I ever got to see like a pro football game from down on the field, I had passes once. It was back when they were trying to get pro football to the Carolinas, and it was the Redskins and the Falcons playing in Keenan Stadium at Chapel Hill, and I got to stand on the field, and you do not understand how big those guys are.
Oh, no, you don't until they're running at you and you're standing on the sideline with your pom-poms, and all of a sudden a 300-pound linebacker is coming out of bounds. You run real fast.
When I was a small kid, I was actually at a Tar Heel basketball game with my dad and my brother, and I somehow wandered my way down onto the court just before halftime was over. And I was standing out there throwing out balls to the players. That was during the Sean May and the Tyler Hansbrough era. And I was like, wow, these guys are big.
They're huge.
Stay in your seat. Stay in your seat.
Just do weather.
Just do weather. That's all I'm here to do. All
no.
Right. Let's do weather. It's cold, it's damp, but things are improving as we go throughout the rest of the afternoon. The rain is pretty much over for us now in the Triad. You see a few of those little sprinkles and showers streaming across the Triad now, but that rain will be tapering off and coming to an end as we go throughout the rest of your evening. Of course, that is good news. There's not even a whole lot left with this system. Of course, still cloudy and cool, sitting at 49 degrees right now in Greensboro. By the way, the average high right now is 77. So yeah, it's a whole lot cooler than it should be. Stationary front down to our south. A couple of these little waves of low pressure tracking along that front is what's generating our rain today, and will give us a low-end chance of a shower tomorrow. But high pressure from the north will really be the big weather feature. That'll keep us cooler going into tomorrow and Friday, but it also starts to bring some sunshine back into the forecast. 49 in Greensboro, 50 Winston-Salem, 50 in Lexington, 49 in Asheboro, and expect us to have a cold night of weather, dropping down to right around 40 degrees tonight for that overnight low. Your Thursday features sunshine. A few clouds mixing in from time to time. It will be a cool day of weather in the mid-60s, but we dry things out, warming back up into the 70s going into the weekend.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the gas.
Hey there, just clipping it to my tie.
I really dislike pumping gas. I agree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Seriously. Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie.
It looks like. Hey, we're out here on Greensboro.
Come here throughout the day have had to wait a little longer than normal, but the deliveries are slowly making it.
An employee who usually stocks coolers inside tells me, hey, 1, 2, 3 live at a Summerfield.
It's time for my 2 cents. Do you ever have those days where you want to sleep in? Or maybe you just want to spend the entire day on the couch doing absolutely nothing. After a 40-plus hour work week, our bodies get tired. But for some reason, many of us find ourselves continuing to go without stopping. Mostly, this happens out of guilt. We tell ourselves, if I'm not productive, I'm being lazy. But what if I told you doing nothing can be productive? Finding time to relax gives us a chance to recharge our batteries. Say you were having trouble writing a paper or finishing a project at work. Taking a nap or maybe watching your favorite TV show can help to get your juices flowing. The break can actually help to clear your mind. You'll feel much more rejuvenated and able to take on the task at hand. Doing nothing can also help to improve your mood. Juggling different responsibilities can leave us stressed, burnt out, and grumpy. Just like exercise, you have to give your body a rest day. If not, you'll never give your muscles time to recover. This same theory applies to our bodies when it comes to work. Find a day during the week where you can spend time doing nothing. And during this time, remove all distractions. Find time away from your cell phone, emails, and other work materials. If a full day isn't possible, maybe try for an hour. It's not selfish to find time for yourself. The time spent in complete solace will make you a lot happier and allow you to be your best you. That's my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFNY News 2 at 5 starts now.
Experts stress do not panic buy, but people are still lining up at gas stations all across the state, while others remain empty, waiting for new shipments.
But there is hope on the horizon as truckers work around the clock delivering much needed gas. The gas shortage is still in full swing with hopes to get the Colonial Pipeline back online by the weekend.
But still, some people are worried. We have crews across the Triad ready to answer your questions. We're talking everything from what is price gouging to what is the White House doing to help out to when will the pipeline problem be fixed. Let's start with WFMY News 2's Jess Winters live in Guilford County with how people are reacting.
At the Summerfield Exxon gas station, an employee who usually stocks shelves inside told me he had a new job today, directing traffic outside. Yes, it got that bad the lines before they completely ran out of gas. He says he's also limiting each car to $30 worth of gas. This was before they ran out, unless they're first responders. I talked to people in line today. Some are self-proclaimed panic buyers. Others don't know what all the fuss is about.
There's no reason to panic. If you have enough gas for a week, everything's going to be fine. So
I need gas, but in regular days I could probably wait a few more days, but I'm afraid to not be able to find it in a few days.
No, I'm pretty worried. I mean, but your pocketbook can only afford so much. People are going stupid.
The video that you're seeing right now, this wasn't the scene everywhere earlier. There are still some stations out there with fuel and no lines in the Triad, like at Stokesdale Service Center. I spoke with the manager there, Dexter Jones. He said yesterday was the worst, with people filling up hundreds, yes, hundreds of gas jugs.
Hundreds, yeah, 4 or 5 per person, 6, 8, 9. They're filling up all these jugs when they really ought to just purchase the fuel as they need it.
Watch out for price gouging, too. The state attorney general's office told me they're investigating about 300 reports right now. That is way up from yesterday's 38 reports. You can hear more about that during our Q&A session with the AG coming up at 5:30.
Thank you, Jess. And there's also a rush to deliver fuel to gas stations as fast as possible.
WFMY News 2's Adora Gachumba joins us live now from one of the tank farms in Greensboro with more on how they are waiting as well. Adora.
This fueling depot here on Gallimore Dairy Road is just one of the places where tankers are coming to load up and ship out fuel to gas stations. Now, a number of the drivers who have come here today have had to wait longer than normal, but the deliveries are slowly making it out.
Just go down there, find a load, bring it to the stores, and then people come get it.
Fuel delivery drivers with fully loaded tankers are in demand for the precious liquid they carry. Gas Buddy reported 25% of North Carolina gas stations were out of fuel as the Colonial Pipeline shutdown entered day 6. Lines formed at gas stations, leading some to run out and shut down.
I see some across the road, left it light over there and come over here when I pulled in.
Delivery drivers are trying to keep up as panic buying drives up demand and squeezes supply. The shortage and fuel scramble are driving up gas prices and affecting food delivery drivers too.
I use probably a tank of gas every 2 or 3 days, and so I'm topping it off to make sure I have enough to last a couple days.
AAA urges folks to stay calm, and if you're taking a long-distance trip this weekend, research.
We do know that gas stations are receiving supply, and they will continue to receive the supply into the night. So the fact that we're in a state of emergency really does help us.
And driving around today, I did see gas prices in the $2.89 to the low $2.90 range. Colonial says the entire pipeline system will be back up and running later this week.
So calm is the operative word here. Adori, thank you so much. If it seems like the Carolinas face a lot of gas supply issues, it's because we do. AAA says it comes down to geography. The Carolinas are a cut-through to many other travel hotspots. We're also a vacation destination as people come and go to the beaches and the mountains all year long. That high demand can cause supply issues on its own. And when you pair it with what is happening right now, then you have a perfect storm for a gas shortage.
And if you thought the rush to get gas was bad here, I mean, take a look out here in Charlotte. Gas Buddy says 71% of Charlotte metro stations are without gas. Wow. Experts add they've only seen slight outages at the supply level, meaning there was more of a problem getting fuel to stations. And drivers along the east coast of our states are also feeling the effects as well. Some in New Bern waited an hour or more in lines at gas stations before filling up or learning the pumps had run dry.
The big question now is how long will the pipeline problems last and what is being done to keep gas flowing until it's fixed? Our Ben Briscoe is digging into it.
Julie, right here on Summit Avenue in Greensboro is a good example of the problem. Citgo behind me is out of gas. Across the street at Shell, they've got bags on the pumps too. And right next door at Great Stops, the manager told me they got a shipment earlier today. They've been busy ever since, but look at that price on the sign. Kissing right close to $3 a gallon. Now, oil and gas experts tell me there are enough reserves right now in place to help us get through this. But if the problems with the pipeline stretch on past 10 days, that's when all of these gas stations could have problems. And that's why the United States Department of Transportation is stepping in to help out.
Colonial has announced that they're working toward full restoration by the end of this week, but we are not taking any chances. We are doing everything that we can in the interim to make it easier to move fuel to the places that need it.
Now, the DOT is working to get some tanker ships to actually sail up the East Coast full of gas. They've also waived a bunch of regulations for truckers, allowing them to carry larger loads than normal and to work more hours than normal. Plus, an industry insider tells CBS News there's actually 10,000 extra truckers on the road right now bringing gas towards the East Coast, towards you. So, the message tonight is that help is on the way. We just have to be patient.
Glad to hear it, Ben. Thank you so much. Governor Roy Cooper is also reminding people not to panic buy, only get what you need.
The shortages that we're seeing are pretty much solely related to panic buying from people, and I want to encourage people not to do that. Don't fill up your car unless you have to. Don't go top off your car and fill up all of your cars, because that's really what is driving the shortages.
And if you're like many people just driving around trying to find a place to fill up, there are things you can do to lessen how much gas you use. AAA has some tips. First, minimize your use of air conditioning. It costs less fuel to run the air conditioning no matter the weather. Second, plan ahead to accomplish multiple errands in one trip. And finally, remove unnecessary and bulky items from your car. It actually takes more fuel to accelerate heavier cars. And if you still need to top off your tank, we can help you find an open pump. Head on over to WFNYnews2.com and look for this story on the homepage. Gas Buddy will tell you which spots in the Triad have gas and which ones don't. Be sure to check back to see updates. We know Colonial got new gas shipments to several East Coast cities yesterday, including Greensboro.
The governor declared a state of emergency in North Carolina due to the Colonial Pipeline issues. All right, well, emergency makes it sound like maybe you should be fearful, but really, I got to tell you, it should maybe make you just have awareness and know that there are resources in place to help you. That's right. The formal definition of state of emergency is a situation of national disaster or danger in which a government suspends normal constitutional procedures in order to regain control. All right, what does that mean? For example, in this state of emergency from the North Carolina governor, there's a temporary suspension of motor vehicle regulations that deal with fuel supply. Here's what that means. Fuel tax requirements, registration requirements, size and weight requirements for trucks that are carrying in fuel are being waived for a specific amount of time, and that helps get you the supplies a whole lot faster. Well, states of emergencies often free up money, resources, and other helps so that whatever situation is happening, the government is able to meet the needs. But let's face it, when you hear the word state of emergency, you probably turn to fear more than awareness, and the governor knows that. So we just heard from him, but this is also a tweet that he sent out on Tuesday when he declared that state of emergency, and it says, report price gouging, and please don't rush to top off your tanks. Unfortunately, we know there was a rush to top off tanks, but the governor talked about yet another resource from the state of emergency. That's that price gouging law. That's right. Price gouging is when a business unreasonably raises the prices of goods or services to profit from that state of emergency. And guess what? There have been nearly 300 price gouging complaints made to the state so far. Well, 2 wants to answer your questions about price gouging. Coming up at 5:30, North Carolina Attorney General Josh Stein will be in to talk about price gouging, how an investigation even takes place, and he's going to take your questions. You need to text those questions to 336-379-5775.
All right, North Carolina also dealing with a warmth shortage. right now. No doubt about it. Feels like March, not May at the moment. Part of the reason for that, all the clouds we have, and of course throughout much of the day we had rainfall as well. That's pretty much winding down, but truth be told, I can't really remember seeing temperatures quite like this on a May afternoon. It's pretty stunning. Upper 40s down to the south. It is a little warmer to the north. Why? Well, you ended your rain a bit earlier than folks down south, so there is some warmth making it through at the moment. Temperatures compared to this time yesterday are about 20 degrees cooler in some areas, and remember, our average high is 77, so this is extremely cool and might be a little refreshing to you if you like the change of pace. Still possible to see a little bit of sprinkles or a couple of light rain showers for the next couple of hours, but overall we are drying out and we're getting cold. It is going to be a cold night of weather. Overnight lows right around 40 in many areas. Even some upper 30s are possible. Coming up, we'll talk about warmer, sunnier days.